What's happening, YouTube? I just got out of Thor Love and Thunder. Sitting in my car because there really wasn't any place to actually film my reaction to the movie inside the theater. And I would have stood outside, but it's hot out there. You know, if you live in the South or anywhere, you know, pretty much out west, it's just hot everywhere. So I'm doing my review of this movie in my car. So first thing I want to say is that this is a spoiler-free review. I'm not going to give away any spoilers of this movie. I'm just going to talk about how I felt about the movie and just what my overall impressions are and where I think this movie ranks in some of the other MCU movies, especially in Phase 4. So first thing that I want to say is that this movie definitely, I feel like it could have been a bit longer. It's 2 hours. I do feel the length of the movie could have benefited certain characters like Christian Bale's villain character, the Gore the God Butcher. I feel like I would have liked to see more time spent, I guess, and they do spend a little bit of time, you know, and it's enough where you really get his why as to why he is the way that he is. In the same way that we understood Thanos' motivation for how he was in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, we get that why. Why does Gore the God Butcher feel the way that he feel? And it's pretty convincing, I would say. So I would definitely say it would have been cool though just to have a little more time exploring a little more of his character. But I will tell you, Christian Bale, you know, he's a great actor, as you already know, especially if you've seen him in other movies. He is no exception to what he did here. The work that he did with this role, with this villain, was really, really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Probably one of the best villains I've seen in an MCU movie, definitely. I would definitely say as well, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's not a spoiler because if you've seen the trailer, then you already know that they're in the movie. I would have liked to see in a little more Guardians. You know, they were in there literally for a hot minute. And if you blink, you might miss it. I mean, but they're in there, but I would have wanted to see a little more time with them, you know. But I guess it makes sense because it's not really their movie. But, you know, it was actually cool seeing Rocket and Groot and Drax and of course Star-Lord, you know. But yeah, it was cool seeing them. I think, in my opinion, the best parts of the movie is definitely when Thor has his confrontation with Gore the God Butcher, as well as we see Jane Foster in the movie. So, you know, the interaction between Thor and Jane Foster is really, really good. And what makes it good is because you really get a sense of just how much they really do love each other. And that's what a large part of this movie is about. It's about their love that they have for each other, you know, and you really just see a lot of that. It almost feels like kind of like a romantic comedy in a way. But it was good. And I'll tell you, you know, there's some sad moments in this movie. Not going to give away anything. Some people may already know what happens. And if you do, hey, you know, then, you know, I'll just ask that you save those comments for when I do, if I decide to do a spoiler video. But I think that there's a certain friend of mine, Kristen Miller, if you're watching this, she is gonna really love certain parts of this movie because she is a huge Chris Hemsworth fan. So Kristen, if you're watching this, you're gonna be in for a treat. And you know, it was a really good movie though. It was really good. I thought, now there was this one scene that I really enjoyed that was, I'm not gonna say much about it, but I'll just say it was in black and white and it was real good. One thing that I do think that's really good about this movie is that the trailers, they don't give away everything. There's a lot that happens in the movie that you do not see in the trailers. I can appreciate that. I really, really can appreciate that. Let's see. There are 2 post-credit scenes. So stay to the very end. There's one, it's a mid-credit scene, and then there's one right at the very end. So you don't want to miss either one of those. For me, personally, I thought the very last one was more interesting, but you may think the mid-credit scene is more interesting. You know, I am interested in the mid-credit scene, but I thought the very last one, right before the Marvel Studios logo, that one was, for me personally, that was the more interesting one to me. There was one thing that I was disappointed in too. There was a certain character that I was hoping would be in this movie, and they did not appear. I'm not gonna say who that is, because that would be a spoiler if I say that. So, you know, if I decide to do a spoiler video, then I'll talk about that. But yeah, that was I was kind of hoping a certain person was gonna be in this movie, and they weren't. But anyway, I think that's really about it. I would say this movie is a really good movie. In terms of where it ranks among all of the Marvel films, I would say this one is, for me personally, I think I might have enjoyed this one a little better than Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, I would say I probably enjoyed this one a little more than Thor Ragnarok. And I would say it's, yeah. So in terms of ranking, I would give this a 4 out of 5 stars. Really good movie. Of course, you already know the CG is amazing. So it's a great, you know, Marvel really doesn't miss much on CG, special effects. So this movie has all of that. So I would highly recommend seeing this movie. And that's it. So that's my spoiler-free review of this movie. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. On the way out, hit that like if you like this video, share this video, and as I always say, if you can see this video, man, you are truly blessed. And as always, what are you gonna do in your downtime? Peace! Subscribe!